Today's horoscope from AstroCademy, Capricorn September 25, 2024. With the Sun now transiting your sector of values and resources, you're shifting gears and turning your attention to stabilizing your life and putting ideas to work for you. During this month-long transit, lasting until October, money and possessions, comfort, sensual enjoyment, and simple, pleasurable activities assume more importance in your life. It's a good cycle for taking charge of your money or taking better care of your valuables, developing your talents and resources, and establishing yourself. You could also be accumulating more possessions if that's what makes sense to you now. Today, you're inclined to talk or think things through, which can lead to a greater feeling of freedom. You're communicating with more enthusiasm and courage. You will likely feel incredibly possessive and jealous today. No matter where you stand in your relationships, it will likely be feeling quite rocky today. Deeply buried insecurity, trauma, and fear could be lurking up from the shadows like a poltergeist, causing havoc in your heart. You may have an overwhelming need to control and smother your partner. While you may initially think that you're doing this out of protection or love, it is far more vicious than that. The shadows of your psyche and spirit could be manifesting in extremely toxic ways, driving your lover away from you. How can you continue to grow without feeling limited or held back? One of your career paths is growing faster than another. Consider what you want to pursue when the Moon in Gemini conjuncts Jupiter in Gemini and squares Saturn retrograde in Pisces. Some of your professional commitments might actually hold you back if they are not aligned with the career path that you want to advance. It may be hard to make this judgment call, but you should take a commitment or partnership off your plate. Use today's planetary energy to get yourself moving. The physical portrait for you is Downward Dog. If you are not familiar with this very popular yoga position, it's like doing a push-up but hoisting your rear end straight up toward the ceiling, so your body makes an upside-down V, with only your hands and feet touching the floor. This posture releases all the tension in your neck and shoulders, where you tend to feel it most, before entering a beneficial period rich in learning experience. You are going to have to be pragmatic and have your mind on the now. Until then, take a break, escape, and avoid power games with the people you collaborate with or your family and friends. Rather, ask yourself some questions on your true desires and the meaning that you want to give your life. Don't hesitate to start a phase of introspection and inner searching to discover your personal legend. Give philosophy a bigger place in your search for happiness. The Sun's departure from Virgo today not only concludes your birthday month but also marks the end of all planetary activity in your sign for the year. Mercury will remain for another 3 days to tie up loose ends and perform his duties as the planet of communication, with some extra support. Shortly after, the Sun will move into your income sector just in time to take over from Venus, who will leave a few hours later to initiate the first planetary activity in your communication sector this year. Despite being scheduled to leave Virgo weeks ago, Mercury seems to have stayed on until Venus returns to take over her role. The Sun's departure from Virgo today is going to bring his clash with both planets in your relationship sector. Are to an end, but with Mercury, the planet of communication, staying on for another 3 days to keep the communication lines open. Helping with that will be Venus, the planet of love's return to your communication sector today and the start of her mission to give your heart and your relationships a voice. Our eyes in the sky. You may notice an emotional heaviness today, almost as if something is holding you back from fully embracing the positive energy around you. Maybe you're feeling a bit restricted, and it's harder to maintain your usual optimism. But here's the beautiful thing about moments like this. They're a chance to shift your perspective and find that silver lining. Have you ever had one of those days where everything seems like it's weighing you down, but then you remember something small that sparks a bit of hope? Sometimes, it's about consciously choosing to see the good, even when things feel tough. This could be your moment to do just that. When it comes to your health, things are looking pretty good. You're likely feeling strong and balanced, thanks to your thoughtful approach and self-control. But, just like in all areas of life, it's important not to overdo it. Think about how much better you feel when you maintain moderation, whether that's in what you eat, how much rest you're getting, or even how you manage your stress. Have you ever noticed how sticking to a balanced routine makes a huge difference? Today's cosmic reminder is to keep things in check. Sure, it's easy to go overboard, but a little self-control now can prevent burnout later. What's one thing you've noticed that makes a big impact on your overall well-being when you stick to it? Let's talk about the major cosmic shifts happening today, starting with the Sun moving into Libra, the sign of balance and harmony. This shift, along with Venus entering passionate Scorpio, sets the stage for transformation, particularly in your relationships. Libra season is all about fairness and equality, and it brings an opportunity to reflect on the balance in your life. Have you been giving too much in certain areas and not getting enough back? Or maybe it's the other way around. Perhaps you're realizing it's time to open yourself up more to receiving love and support. This is your invitation to consider how balanced your interactions feel, whether it's with friends, partners, or even colleagues. Libra's energy is all about mutual respect and reciprocity, so this is the perfect time to think about how those themes are playing out in your life. What does balance look like for you right now? Are there relationships where you're carrying more than your share of the weight? Or maybe there's someone who could use a little more attention and care from you. Reflecting on this can help bring clarity and lead to more fulfilling connections. Feel free to share your thoughts in the comments. Sometimes just talking it out can give you the clarity you need to restore balance in your relationships. While Libra invites us to seek fairness, Venus in Scorpio turns the heat up when it comes to desire and emotional depth. Scorpio's energy is intense, passionate, and transformative. If you've been craving deeper connections or a more meaningful relationship, this could be the beginning of an incredibly romantic period. But remember, Scorpio can also stir up a desire for control, which can sometimes lead to power struggles or emotional entanglements. The key here is to focus on building intimacy, not control. Have you ever noticed how relationships become richer when you're willing to be vulnerable, to truly open up, instead of trying to control how things unfold? This is a time to embrace the emotional depth that Scorpio offers, while also staying mindful of maintaining healthy boundaries. In all of this transformative energy, don't forget about moderation. Today's planetary shifts might point you to overindulge, whether it's in socializing, food, drink, or even spending. It's so easy to get caught up in the excitement and go a little overboard, but remember that balance is the key to long-term happiness. Have you ever had a time where you let yourself indulge maybe a little too much only to regret it later? We've all been there. Whether it's a shopping spree that stretches the budget or a fun night out that leaves you feeling drained the next day, overextending yourself can take a toll. Today's energy gently reminds you to enjoy life, but to do so mindfully. What's one area in your life where you could use a little more moderation? As the day unfolds, take this opportunity to reflect on the balance in your relationships, your personal well-being, and even your daily habits. Whether you're craving deeper connections or simply trying to keep things steady, today's cosmic energy is here to help you find that sweet spot between passion and peace, indulgence and restraint. Remember, growth doesn't come from control, it comes from openness, balance, and being gentle with yourself and others.